Yeah. Right. Hello, my name is Paul Archer, and this is Clare Reddington. And this is the bit where we are going to have a cup of tea and have a bit of a chat about what's going on in the tech world and the arts world and everything in between. So Claire, do you want to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do?
Sure, I'm Clare Reddington. I'm the director of Watershed, which is a media centre in Bristol. At this point, Watershed is a cinema, a cafe bar, a conference centre, but also, I guess, crucially for this, with a pervasive media studio, which is a research lab which mixes up artists, engineers, academics, tech startups, all working on creative technology projects.
Everybody's saying you need to go to Silicon Roundabout if you want to have a tech business in the UK. How do you think Bristol differs from that, and why do you think you shouldn't go to London and you should be in Bristol for this?
So there's a real openness. There is a huge technology industry, but also creative industries, animation, natural history, are all part of the tradition here, which makes it a kind of a pretty exciting place. And I think one thing Watershed always thinks about is that if you really want to innovate, you should talk to somebody who isn't like you. If everybody sits in a room that has all the same ideas and all the same skill sets, you probably won't come up with anything that disruptive. So Bristol is a good place to talk to and work with people who aren't like you and kind of get new input.
How would you recommend that a business actually gets into a co-location space like this?
And the great thing is there's co-location spaces absolutely everywhere now. You sort of only have to go out the door to fall over some kind of makerspace or accelerator or a place like this, which is more about ideas. So I'd suggest Google is your friend for these things, like literally co-location space, your city. And even if you want to do the majority of your work at home, sometimes having a kind of informal membership where you can just drop in and meet other people is a really good thing.
Do you think that's the best way of actually finding those mentors, would be going through a co-location space, or do you think it's about networking events, for example?
I think both of those things are really good places to find mentors, whether that be formal mentors and formal schemes or something a bit more informal where it's about kind of checking in, sharing what you're up to and getting advice. Every city has different networking events, and going along to those, being brave, approaching people, and treating it as fun. If you've got something you're really passionate about and the thing you love and that you really want to get out to the world, like share that with people, and people respond with generosity and energy.
And that leads us on really nicely to what we're doing, and we're going to try and do this with as many people. We're a couple of years into our journey, which means hopefully we'll be able to advise and give some help to people who are right at the beginning of their journey, but there's a long way to go, which is why we get people like Claire to sit down to give us their thoughts, their advice on this. So doing it every week, there'll be a top 5 things learned every week that I'll do on a Friday, and we'll sit down and have a chat at the beginning of each week and sort of document some of the adventure along the way. So thanks a lot, we'll see you next time. Boom. Anything else? Right, Tom Mellowat from Calvium, and we're going to have a little chat about the Apple Watch. So the launch yesterday, did you watch it live?
I watched most of it.
Yeah. So what do you reckon?